Oh, good morning to you. Good morning. Friday the 14th of June 2013. We had overnight rain, which I think is wonderful because it means I haven't got to water the garden today. Yeah, I think that's wonderful. Gives me a chance to do other stuff. My first job today, though, is there's a couple of things I do need to get from the shops. So I'm going to take a little run up the road to Chatillon-sur-Indre. There's a supermarket there, there's a big do-it-yourself shop there, and yeah, the other sorts of shops that I think I need to visit. That will give the sun a chance to dry things out. Oh, look, all those swallows. Isn't it marvellous? Great flock of swallows. You turn your camera and they've all zoomed off somewhere else. Yeah, so by the time I get back, the sun should have dried things out and then I can get on with some painting. I suppose I ought to think about cutting grass as well. I say grass, there's not actually an awful lot of grass in this lawn. It's mainly dandelion and buttercup and such likes. But yeah, that's going to need cutting. There we are, ladder up already. Yep. Right, let's get doing. It's a little bit of a drive to Chatillon. It's not really that far. One of the things that continually, I won't say confuses anymore, but you know, it comes as a bit of a difficulty for Englishmen, is road signs here, of course, are measured in kilometres. So when you're thrashing along the road at 60 miles an hour, you're actually doing 100 kilometres an hour. And you see a road sign that has a number on it. Nervous twitch. Kept me alive for a lot of years. It says Chatillon, we're now about 8 kilometres short of Chatillon. Well, of course, 8 kilometres is actually no real distance, but it just, the number looks quite big. So yes, when you all come here and you all bring your cars, just remember the road signs are in kilometres and kilometres per hour. I shouldn't have told you I was doing 60, should I? Because the speed limit here, of course, is 80 kilometres an hour on this road. So yeah, and I think I've just admitted being a little bit naughty. They do enforce speed limits here. There is a speed camera on the approach to Chatillon, and the various sorts of police that you find here do enforce. But you don't see very many of them out in the sticks here. There we are, there's the top of the castle just disappearing behind the trees. This part of France it's been the middle of wars for longer than anyone can remember. So most of the towns have some sort of stronghold. Chatillon has a castle. Slow down. There's a speed camera there. I wasn't actually speeding, but just thought I'd show you what a speed camera in France looks like. They're painted grey so you can't see them, and then they've got a black and yellow stripe round them so you can see them. There's really no excuse for triggering one. But yes, all of the towns here have some sort of stronghold. In some towns you'll look at a church and you'll think that church is built with very, very thick walls. You know, why? Why did they build them that thick? Well, of course, they were refuges. Chatillon has got a castle. Azay-le-Ferron has got its chateau, which was originally built as a fortified house with watchtowers and such likes. The various wars that happened here literally go back all the way long before the Romans arrived. There we are, there's the castle. Right, I'm going to have to put you down for a moment because I've got some navigating to do. I can feel the warmth of the sun, so hopefully by the time I get back home it will have dried things off and I can get on with some work. À vendre. Those of you that don't speak French need to know that means that it's for sale. Nice little plot of garden for sale here next to the car park. If you come here, if you visit, you will find that car parks are easy to find, and even in summer there's spaces. And better yet, in this part of France most car parks are free. Obviously the bigger towns they charge you to park, but here you park for nothing. It's wonderful. Every time I walk past this wall, I wonder if today is the day it's going to all come tumbling down. It hasn't in over 300 years, so I don't suppose it will today. And this is one of the joys of being here. You walk round the corner, it's, you know, how many towns do you know that you walk round the corner and there's a castle at the end of the road? There we are, that's a better view of the castle. It'd be very, very difficult to attack it, wouldn't it? You know, it's massive walls and it's on top of the hill. But of course, if you can't attack somewhere, you don't. You would lay siege to the place. So look at these two blackbirds messing about. So of course it's very important for castles like this to have wells and granaries and such likes. But there it stands. Here in the square, I'll call it a square, although it's triangular shape, there is a water pump. I don't know when it was last used. It's got a magnificent handle on it, hasn't it? Yes, it hasn't been used for some many years, has it? But somewhere deep beneath this hill is obviously a well. We walk this way. This is the Rue du Marché. It's the road where the market is. And it's a little bit early at the moment. The market is just getting set up. It's not a huge market, but it's certainly sufficient for this town. Bonjour. It's a fish stall. Poisson, of course, in French. And vegetables, well, you can't live without some sort of vegetable. All those radishes. I'm growing my own radishes, don't need any of those. Lovely looking potatoes, I don't need any of those. And a small butcher's van with some lovely looking meat on it. Some of these vehicles, you know, isn't that a wonderful vehicle? I saw one of those advertised for sale and I thought I want it, and then I thought, what on earth do I want it for? And always the presence of the castle. Let's just go and poke my nose over the wall. And for reference, there's the trusty Skoda. And that was the first bit of shopping sorted out. Must admit I winced a bit when the poissonniere told me how much the little bit of fish was, but it looks good fish, and he filleted it for me, so I'm, you know, mustn't grumble. We tried to discuss the rugby, but I didn't watch the rugby. He seems to think that this year England is going to win the World Rugby Cup. I had no opinion because no idea, frankly. Look at that pine tree with all the cones hanging on it. Right, onwards and upwards.